How are you doing? I'm Cadet Turner.
And I'm Cadet Gillen.
And I'm Cadet Horn.
And I'm Cadet Rodriguez.
And we're a bunch of systems engineering nerds.
We're going to solve the refugee radicalization problem in Europe. Oh, hey there. We're a small group of systems engineers that have been tasked with solving the refugee radicalization problem that has been plaguing Europe for the last few years. The growing instability in the Middle East through conflicts such as the Syrian civil war have created an environment unsafe for many citizens living in this area. As such, many have immigrated to Europe in order to seek political, social, and economic security for themselves and their families. As such, we have a large influx of refugees, and Europe doesn't know what to do with them. Our problem statement for this specific incident is that terrorist attacks in Europe have increased in both multitude and severity. The increase in attacks comes in conjunction with increases in refugees under EUCOM jurisdiction. As such, EUCOM has been tasked to reduce the creation of radicalized refugees. Our systems engineering team has spent the last 4 months trying to create and design a solution that EUCOM can implement to solve this problem.
The effective needs of the stakeholders, which will be discussed later in the video, is EUCOM must implement a solution that reduces refugee radicalization by supporting economic stability through employment and schooling options, increasing security for current refugee camps, and creating programs with host nations to provide resettlement options to refugees.
What a wonderful view of West Point and the Hudson River. But you know who also should be able to get this view?
Refugees!
And do you know the group of people that can make it possible for the refugees to see this view? Our stakeholders. Let's begin. Our first stakeholder is Major General David Allen, the current EUCOM commander, who is the decision authority and the client for our solutions. Next are the host nations, which they are the government officials who must take care of the migrating refugees, and they are the users of our candidate solutions. Next, we have the refugees. This is anyone who has been displaced from their origin country, and they are the victims here. Next, we have the citizens of the host nations, which are the natives who are currently at a disadvantage due to the rapidly increasing population of the refugees. Finally, we have the DoD, which is the government department that is financially obligated for our solution, and they are the maintainers for our candidate solutions. As you can see on the screen, we have compiled all of our stakeholders' needs and transformed them into the requirements and now functions of our candidate solutions.
The image that is now on your screen is a functional hierarchy. This was created because, in order to meet our main goal of minimizing the amount of refugees that become radicals, we laid out this research and came up with these 4 functions that our system must meet. Our solution must provide economic stability, security options around the camps and refugee concentrated areas, improve the overall living conditions of the refugees, and mend the relationship between the local citizens and the refugees. Those 4 functions are all denoted in the green boxes. In order to measure how well our candidate solutions met our functions, we created a value hierarchy with the following value measures: the number of jobs created per month, more is better; how well it rates on a security scale of 1 to 5, the higher the rating the better; the number of diseases each person contracts, less is better; the number of healthcare facilities in a 20-mile radius, more is better; the distance from the refugee camp to nearby towns, less is better; and finally, the difference in salary between a refugee and local for the same job, less is better.
What's up, guys? What happens when we have many needs, requirements, functions, and hierarchies, you may ask? Well, we first weight the value measures and normalize them. Then, through a very lengthy process of using morphological matrix, alternative generation, and a feasibility screening, we arrived at, you guessed it, our candidate solutions. Now, let's get back to the team and they'll go over those candidate solutions.
Hey guys, it's Cadet Warren back again, chilling here with General Schwarzkopf, and we're both going to give you our candidate solution number 1. So our first candidate solution is that the refugees are going to work in the camp on infrastructure projects such as the security of the camp, and also being like a volunteer neighborhood watch, so they will be in charge of certain sections of the camp. Secondly, we are going to use greater reinforcements of the camps with increased troops in the area and obstacles such as fences and barbed wire. We are also going to prioritize water and sewer cleanliness by implementing systems so that clean water comes in and all the dirty water goes out of the camp. Secondly, we're going to have a school integration option for the youth, which means that at a younger age, the refugee kids and the local kids will be in the same school. And finally, we will have a voluntary system for repatriation, which means that we find skilled classes and different education for them to go home and be able to get a job.
Hi guys, back again. It's Cadet Rodriguez, and I'm going to be telling you about our candidate solution number 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to, the same as candidate solution 1, we're going to hire refugees for infrastructure projects within the camps. For our second aspect though, we're going to implement screening procedures for all refugees. So that means that we're going to have them undertake biometrics, questionnaires, and then security measures within the camps to make sure everyone's safe. Then we're still going to prioritize water and sewer cleanliness for refugee camps, and also create a government housing project so that refugees in the community have this voluntary system for rotation.
What's up? You're live with Cadet Turner. Our third candidate solution involves stricter border control for the EU states that are receiving the bulk of the refugees. This involves utilizing U.S. intelligence gathering capabilities through the Wolf Spotter program mentioned in the 2016 Yukon Posture Statement to work with NATO to better equip them to monitor these states for lone wolf actors trying to enter the EU. We will also introduce digital tools to make the visa screening process more efficient so that refugees can get through quicker and get their citizenship so they're not as much of a hassle for the EU. We're also going to create a coalition between Yukon, the EU, and NATO for massive refugee resettlement to take pressure off the aforementioned border states so that they're not feeling as much of the brunt of the issue. It will disperse the refugees more evenly, and it will create better living conditions for all, reduce the cost in the states as I said before, and it will make Europe more stable.
On behalf of our systems engineering team, we want to thank you so much for listening to our solutions, and please consider us for this job.
Pick number 3!